Kiara here, and I'm back with another video. I want to know if y'all all sing that song too. I just want to know. Just tell me. Okay, so I am here alone, as you guys can see, but this is just gonna be a little video. Me and my sister, we kind of decided to do like separate things. So maybe my sister might do story times, and I'm gonna be focusing more on the reading and writing, because that's basically what I'm majoring in. And yeah, so I'm just going to be in this video. I'm gonna be telling you guys some tips on how to write a great story, or how to get started on a story if you're having trouble. And and this is going to be related to Wattpad. So I'm going to help you guys in creating a successful story. But before we do that, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss another video. And let's get right into it, okay? Okay, so my name on Wattpad is Popcorn Pecan. I tried to change it so many times. Unfortunately, could not change it. But yes, my name on the app is Wattpad. Is basically an app where you can read other stories from different people all around the world. You can write your own story, and so yeah, so I'm just gonna talk about my experience and why, and how to basically give you guys some basic tips on what you should do when you just to help you when starting another story. Because let me tell you something, it is not easy. It's not easy coming up with new ideas, and sometimes you get writer's block, and it's not easy. So I'm just here to help you guys a little bit from things that I've learned. And yeah. So let's get into it. So I do have about 8 books on Wattpad. If you guys want to see it, I'll probably link it down below, my Wattpad account. So if you guys want to follow me, go ahead and you can read my stories. So I have about 8 stories so far. The first book I've ever written on Wattpad is called Starla McFluffbird, which is basically about a girl who, she's basically battling her twin sister over a guy, and all sorts of twists and turns happen. And I'm gonna be completely honest with you, that story is shit. It is so bad. And I was just starting out, I said I wanted to start writing and stuff like that. It was really bad. Your first story is never going to be, it's not going to be good at all. A whole bunch of things is going to be thrown in there. It's going to be so many things wrong with it. And it's totally fine. It's totally normal. It's totally okay. And yeah, it's just bad. It was all bad. But you do learn from your experiences. And so I'm majoring in creative writing and literature. So I like writing stories. I love reading. My favorite genre would have to be romance. Sometimes I love the cliche moments. I know I'm one of those people. I am one of those people. Please do not come at me in the comments. But yes, I am one of those people that love the cliche moments. I love romance. I'm a huge fan. And yeah, so I'm currently working on a new book called A Phone Call to Heaven. And how did I come up with the idea? So how do you come up with an idea for a story? And what I like to do is I like to think of something out of the box. Think of something that has never been done before. So I'm working on 2 books at the same time, which I do not recommend. But if you're good at multitasking and you can do it, then go right ahead. But it's not recommended, trust me. But yes, I'm working on another book called The Death Vampire, and that was the second book I wrote on Wattpad. And when I was writing it, well, a lot of people ask me, where did you come up with the idea for it? And like I said, think out of the box. Think of something that has never been done before. And I noticed that I read a lot of books on Wattpad, and I read a book about a vampire that was blind. but I didn't read a book about a vampire that was deaf. And I went to a deaf school called 47 American Sign Language. Woo, I was tripping over my words. 47 American Sign Language, where it was mandatory, like you had to learn ASL, you had to learn sign language, and I just wanted to throw something different. So I combined the ASL with vampire, and I was like, bam, I have an idea. And that is how I basically came up with the story of a deaf vampire. It has so many aspects to it, and when and I always say, create the story that you want to write. Write the story that you want to write. Don't listen to anybody else, and just write. And that is some advice that some professors will tell you. Like my creative writing professor, my fiction writing professor, write what you want to write, and just write. Don't worry about all the grammar and punctuation and all that. Don't worry about it. Worry about it later. Just write down what you want to write first. And so that's a tip for you guys. Write what you want to write. So come up with an idea. Think out of the box. That's another tip for you guys. Think outside of the box, because think of something that's never been done before. I always say this. Think of something that's never been done before. Think out of the box. Once you have that, you have your storyline. And what I like to do is I like to say, the next step that I like to do, that I like to go forward with, is characters. Usually when I think of my characters, I think when you have a character, you want someone that's going to be relatable to your audience. So you don't want, something that's unrealistic, or that's something that people don't really necessarily go through. You want basically your character to be relatable. And also think about what skills do they have? What likes and dislikes do they have? Do they have two parents? Do they have one parent? Do they have multiple siblings? Are they a nerd? Are they popular? All of that comes into play when you're thinking about your characters. And another big thing is ethnicity. Are they going to be black? Are they going to be white? Are they going to have brown hair? This will really, really help you get into the story, because you'll have a feel of who you want your character to be. So I always think about how am I going to envision my characters? And I know this is backwards, but this is just something that works for me. You can take it or leave it or whatever. But I just wanted to come on here and tell you guys some tips that work for me. So, like I said, really connect with your character, because you are basically they're under your control. So whatever you decide you want them to be, really think about it. Don't just throw it out there. Take some time, create an outline. That's another tip. Write an outline. Before my first story, I didn't create an outline at all. I just thought of whatever and I put it in a book. Okay? And that can turn out to be like very messy. And so you really want to think things through before you just throw everything on the page. So create an outline, because it will help you out in the long run. Another tip. So characters, plot. Basically, what do you want to happen to your character? Do you want, what is the main story going to be about? And I know this is kind of going out of order, but this is just something that you can do. You don't always have to follow a certain order. Do what works, blah, I cannot speak. Do what works best for you, because not everybody learns the same. Everybody learns differently, and different things work for different people. So this is just for things that work for me. And I realized that coming up with the characters first and then thinking about what I want the story to be about helps me a lot in the long run. This is just something that helps me, but if you can always try it out. So what do you want the story to be about? Do you want it to be about with a phone call to heaven? I did have this idea of so my new book is called A Phone Call to Heaven. If you guys want to think, I'm going to talk about it. I'll probably insert a picture like right on the side here, so while I'm talking about it, you'll see the cover of the book. So with a phone call to heaven, it was just an idea. And that's basically how stories come about. They are based on an idea. So with a phone call to heaven, it is basically about a girl who orders a phone. She orders this phone off of a 1905 ad. Yes, it's an old news from a newspaper, and she decides to call and order the phone. And the reason why she orders the phone is because her mother has passed away, but she has no clue and no idea how. Her father doesn't talk about it. He's always avoiding her questions. And so she decides to take matters into her own hands, and she decides to investigate her mother's murder or her mother's passing. So she orders this phone. There's a phone, and it's an ad, and it says basically, you can order this phone, and you can contact anyone from heaven. If you just dial 511, you can make any phone call to a loved one that's in heaven. Now, it's an idea. It's never been done before, and I decided I wanted to do that. I wanted to write about a girl that's going to basically, she's going to take matters into her own hands, and she's going to find out what really happened to her mother, and as well as dealing with love issues and romance and love triangles. So I'm throwing all of that in there, and yeah, and it's just basically going on from there. And so that's basically the plot, the gist, overall story that I'm working with. And so that's what you want to, you don't have to choose that, of course. Well, you can't, it's my idea. But you can, when you're thinking about write out different scenarios. Another tip. Different scenarios. What do you want to happen to your character? What do you want your character to go through? What do you want them to face? And a lot of the times, you'll just have your character, but you don't necessarily know the plot yet. And that's okay. Take your time. Do not rush anything. Like, great stories are not rushed. They're not rushed at all. So take your time, really think it through, and then, come up with play around a little bit. Nothing has to be set in stone. Just play around with it. Think of some things that you want to happen. Play out different scenarios, and if something really clicks and sticks with you, leave it at that and take it and run with it and start writing. Start writing. Don't forget, keep writing. Okay? Don't ever stop writing. Keep writing. So I don't know how many tips I'm going to give you guys. I'm just giving it out random. But I really wanted to sit down with you guys, and I really wanted to tell you, what are some tips? Because, along the way, if you really want to be a writer and you really want to create, like me, I want to publish my own story someday. That is something that's a goal of mine, and I've been just writing, and I want to tell stories. I want to connect to my audience. I want people to read my stories and connect to it in some way, in shape or form. Connect to my characters, connect to the obstacles they face, connect to anything anything in the story. So, and that's just something that I want to do. I want to write the stories that I want to write, and don't be ashamed to write the stories that you want to write, because if you don't write it, who else will? So, like I said, just a few tips that I learned along the way, when it comes to, writing your own story. And if you guys want me to make a part 2, I'll make a part 2 for y'all, cause y'all my family, yo. Ew, all right, I was nasty. But no, seriously, if you guys want me to make a part 2 to this video, I will definitely make a part 2. If there's any questions that you guys have, leave it in the comments down below. I'll answer all your questions. And I'm gonna also put down the link to my Wattpad account, so you guys can go and read the stories for yourself. Like I said, not all stories take time. They're not perfect on the first round. You gotta play with it, you gotta work with it, and you gotta write what you wanna write. Don't write something. Another thing, don't compare yourself to other writers. Don't doubt yourself, because that can be hard sometimes, where you're writing a book and you start to doubt yourself and you start to compare yourself to other authors. all authors are different. We're not the same. We don't, we're different, There is one thing we have in common, which is we love to write. We love to write stories. We love to tell stories. And that's something that, is gonna, that's gonna get you further in your career or whatever you want to do. Is if you really love something, you're gonna keep doing it until you become successful. And so yeah, this is just a little video that I wanted to show you guys. That I wanted to do for you guys. And if you have any other questions, put it down in the comments below. I will answer them. If you guys want me to do a part 2 to this, I will. And yeah, so that's gonna be it for this video then. I guess, yeah, that's it for this video. And okay, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, because I know some of y'all be watching these videos and y'all don't be subscribing. I know y'all be hiding. Y'all really be hiding. Y'all be hiding and y'all don't be liking the videos. Well, y'all like the videos. Y'all be watching it, but y'all don't be clicking though. Click that subscribe button. You gonna be getting lit videos when you come over here. All right, I gotta go. All right, guys.